Welcome back to We're Open. If you played Free Realms, you know the theme song. Let's hear from the band behind the music. The Dares, thanks for joining us. This is our 20th interview and around the birthday anniversary of Free Realms and the It's Your World music video. Starting off, how did the band form?
My brother and I, Matt. This is Matt. I'm Ben. This is Anthony. We started playing as the Dares when we were like 9 or 10 years old. When we were in
8, actually.
Eight. Yeah. We've had the name forever. We grew up in on the East Coast in Burlington, Vermont, and then when we were 13, we moved out to Whittier, California, and we kind of restarted the band. Got a bassist. We were playing around, and we got signed when we were 16.
Where did the name the Dares come from?
I don't quite remember. Our lore is that we were very young and we're trying to get other people to join our band, and they didn't believe that we had a band, and making the band was kind of a dare.
We had a phase where we would just make up a story whenever people would ask us, so now we just reverted back to that story.
Well, hey, you came up with the name so young and it still sounds great. Your first label was with Jive Records in 2006. In an interview, you mentioned you thought you were going to sound more like Fall Out Boy, but Jive envisioned you more as the Jonas Brothers?
That was a constant struggle, actually.
Yeah, lots of conflict.
Getting signed was amazing, and then it became, oh, we got to work now. We can't let this label down or ourselves. And so we wrote for about a year and a half, and then we were kind of sitting on a finished album. We did a couple pretty big tours, and right around that time, Free Realms kind of happened. So let's do this theme song, and then everything became about Free Realms for a little bit. We were excited to do the theme song, but then we were like, what about the album we just put out?
I think Free Realms is a separate thing. Like that part was super exciting and fun, we enjoyed all that. What they envisioned, what Jive envisioned for us, it was just kind of, there was a clash. They never really saw us as the rock band that we are. They thought we were Jonas Brothers. We just didn't really want that at the time.
We were put in a box that we didn't feel like we belonged in.
It's rough being typecasted, but did you still like the music you were making for them?
So the album we made that didn't get released, I believe they released 3 songs and called it the G Less B EP. The album we made, we loved. We wrote with a lot of people and worked with some good producers. The hardest thing was that we had put so much work into something that we're like, hey, just put it out there because I think people are going to like it. They just didn't. So it was all these like years of hard work for nothing.
I think the album would have definitely done well, just from an outside perspective at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That was before I joined the band, and I still listen to that whole album to this day. And it was around the time like Paramore released like Riot, and that album is in that family.
Legally, are you still able to sing songs from the unreleased album?
What they own is the recordings of it, so we would have to re-record those.
We weren't allowed to basically use them for 5 years.
We still jam some of them live. We're actually thinking about re-recording some of them now.
That'd be great if you do. So Sony owns Jive Records, where you made the hit song It's Your World. How did that opportunity come to be?
They wanted a rock band, and we were like the youngest rock band on the group of labels. And so it kind of happened between our A&R at the time and whoever worked at Sony. They kind of heard about us. They came to our management about this opportunity to record a theme song. We're like, yeah, let's do it. That sounds awesome. They're like, yeah, well, attached to it, we want to put you in the game. Like, what? Like, how's that going to happen? And then they wanted to have us play like E3, and it became like a big push where we were not just the band that played the song. We were going to be part of the marketing push with the game itself on the release.
Right, you won a Guinness World Record at E3 for the first concert held in a real and virtual space simultaneously. What was that like, and do you still have the plaque?
Yeah,
we have the plaque. It happened so quick.
It fell in our lap. We stumbled upon a world record. We're like, oh, this is cool.
We just happened to play a show that was simultaneous in the game, and that had never happened before. And like, here's your record. Like, oh wow,
they gave us a plaque.
How did it feel to be animated?
It was cool. We went into Sony Online Entertainment headquarters in San Diego. There's like a table full of artists just kind of looking at us, like analyzing our face. I remember one of them was like, I thought you were a lot taller in person. One of the weirdest things was when we went to E3, I think it was outside of the Los Angeles Convention Center. They had like this 30-foot banner, and it was the animated Dares.
That must have been so strange. It's so cool. So Robbie Neville and Matt Gerard, who wrote a lot of Disney Channel songs, also wrote It's Your World. Did you have a say in the decision-making process?
The say that we had was more the direction of how we were going to record it and produce the song. We wanted to give it our like pop punk spin. It didn't feel completely like we're doing some stranger song.
They went out of their way. They found a really good producer named Toby Wright. And it's funny because he's kind of known for doing heavier albums like Metallica and Kiss. And so we had a lot of fun just recording it. Like, we played all their instruments. The production experience itself was really fun.
The official music video released April 2010. How does it feel to have such an influence 13 years later?
I mean, the anniversary of being 13 years, it went by in a flash. And then I didn't realize that there was this whole like subculture that still persists around it. And I think it's really cool.
It's really special that it meant so much to a big community.
Did you actually play free roams, or were the clips of you playing for promotional material?
When they brought us into their headquarters, they like hooked us up before the game had come out.
Yeah.
And so we did, and like I wasn't very good at it. I never really do like role-playing games or anything, so I was just kind of lost. But it was really fun. And at the time, the graphics I thought were amazing because I'm like I hadn't seen anything like this.
Played a little bit.
Yeah.
So the label dropped you in 2011. What happened after?
So after Jive, we wanted to kind of reinvent. Let's really change our sound. Let's make it bigger. So our bassist left the band. I think he had just had enough. And then we were just, Matt and I, we had all these songs so that we just kept writing ever since. Put together a new album and we'll do it. Well, I mean, not completely DIY. We went with the producer, but we did it on our own without a label. And we got Anthony, we had our bassist Brandon, and we drove to Memphis, Tennessee, and then we recorded our album Dupe.
Late 2010, early 2011.
When you joined?
When I joined, we were kind of jamming because we went to high school together.
He was in a bunch of hardcore bands.
Yeah, more
we
than
play shows with his former band.
I'll go watch their practices and watch the whole climb when they're getting signed and hearing the demos from the album. And then one day we just, hey, your name's on the Facebook. It kind of just led to that.
You don't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice. So we were always like a one guitar player band. So it was really cool to see too.
It's great you get more creative control. What do you do when you're not making music?
I'm a drum instructor. I'm in grad school right now. I'm also doing an internship and playing in 2 bands.
I work for an energy company. I just got in a couple of years ago because I've been doing trades my whole life. I'm actually a father. I have twin daughters and I play in a band with some boys. So
I can't get away from
I can't get away.
I was working in a special education class as an aide for like the last 6 or 7 years, going to school at the time. So I graduated last May, recently working with a family that has 3 adults on the spectrum, just as like an in-home aide. And now I'm going to be starting a new job with Orange County as an environmental health specialist. So I'm going to be like a health inspector kind of thing, getting my foot in the public health department.
Congratulations, all 3 of you are doing amazing things. Before we go, what's in the works and where can we find you?
We have a new song that will be coming out. We don't have a date yet, but you can go on Spotify, just search for The Dares. We're on Instagram at The Dares Band. Wherever music is streamed, YouTube too.
We'll be on the lookout for new music, and anyone watching, make sure to follow The Dares. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
A big thank you to The Dares for joining us today. Our next guest will be talking all things open source. Subscribe to stay updated.